This is topic 7-5, changing to y equals mx plus b form, day 2. Our objective for today is I can change from standard to slope-intercept form. So yesterday we spoke about standard form being the form ax plus by equals c, and slope-intercept form being the y equals mx plus b. So my essential question will be, how can I change from standard form, and I'm going to add now ax plus by equals c, to slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Our buildwork problem is we're going to use the graph in order to determine the slope, the y-intercept, and then write the equation. When we write the equation, we want to write it in the y equals mx plus b form. So first, let's look at the slope. Choose any 2 points, and they give you 2 points. So on a graph, if they give you 2 points, you want to make sure you use the 2 points that are given. When we do the slope, the top number is the rise, the bottom number is the run, or it's the change in y over the change in x. First off, I'm going to look and notice that my line is going in the downward right direction, so it is decreasing, so I know my slope is going to be negative. Next, I'll look at the 2 points, and then I'm going to draw me a little triangle to connect them. And now I will count the number of boxes that I moved down. 1, 2, 3. That's the number that goes on top. And then how far do I go to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the number that goes on the bottom. So my slope is negative 3/4. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So again, looking at my graph, it is going to cross the y-axis at a positive 2, with the ordered pair, the coordinate 0, 2. When I plug into my equation, I am just going to replace the m and the b because we now know what those are. So my equation is y equals, m is a negative 3/4. I still have my x, and then my b is a positive 2. Before we move on to today's lessons, we're going to check yesterday's assignment. So if you have your assignment, if you don't have your assignment, pause the recording right now, get your assignment out, and then I'm going to go very fast, so you'll need to pause if you want to check something. Problem 1, when you solve, we get y equals negative 1x plus 8. The slope is negative 1, and b, or the y-intercept, is 8. Number 2, y equals 3x minus 6. Number 3, y equals negative 3x plus 9. So number 4, you should get y equals 3/5 x minus 2. 5, we get y equals 3/2 x. 6, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. 7, you can find the slope is negative 3/2, and the y-intercept is negative 5. So today we're going to continue practicing what we did yesterday, which is we are going to change from standard form. Notice our equation given is in standard form, and we want to get to y equals mx plus b. So we're going to start with our original equation. I'll write it again. 2x plus y equals 6. We're going to draw a line, box the y, and then do y equals blank x plus 6. I'm not writing the steps again because you did that in topic 7-4. Now on the right hand side, anything on the right hand side free falls. So we have our 6. It is going to free fall into the blank, not with the x, because the 6 doesn't have an x. We've taken care of the 6. Now I'm going to look at my x. I have a 2x on the left hand side. If I cross the line, I have to change the sign. So the 2 now becomes a -2. Last, so we've taken care of the x. Last, we have a number in the box with the y. In this case, our number is a 1, even though it's not shown. So that means we divide by the number in the box, which is going to divide by 1. Last, we will simplify. We get y equals a -2 x plus 6. So in our equation, notice this is in y equals mx plus b form. So our m, or our slope, is -2. I want it to look like a fraction, so I can graph it. That's -2 over 1. And our y-intercept is 6. To graph it, it's an ordered pair or coordinate of 0, 6. So we'll start with the y-intercept. We go to our y, and we go where y is equal to 6. And then our slope is negative. That means we're going to be decreasing. That means the bottom number goes down. The top number goes down. Bottom number goes to the right. So we're going down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. And we will continue that throughout the graph. I'll repeat the pattern on the other side to get my others. So sure enough, we do have a line that is decreasing, and we have now graphed our line. Example 2. Again, we're going to start with 4x minus 3y equals -9. Draw a line, box the y. Okay, next we'll write y equals blank x plus blank. Next we'll do the free fall on the right side. So -9 is going to free fall into the blank that doesn't have the x. We have a 4 with the x that's on the left. We want to move it to the right. It crosses the line. We change the sign, so it's a -4. And last, we're going to divide by the number in the box. So the number in the box is a -3. We're going to divide both things by -3. Now we need to simplify our fractions. This is where the calculator comes in handy. On your calculator, you're going to type in our first fraction, -4 divided by 3. -4 divided by a -3. I press enter. I come out with an ugly decimal, so I want it to look like a fraction. To get it to look like a fraction, we'll hit math, enter, enter. Notice when you do math, you see number 1 is fraction, so that's our first enter. Second enter tells it, yes, I want you to take that answer and change it to a fraction. So as a fraction, it becomes a simplified fraction. It becomes a positive 4/3. We still have the x, and now we'll put in our second fraction. -9 divided by -3 equals, this is a nice whole number, and so this is positive, so that means it's plus 3. We have our equation now in y equals mx plus b form. So our m is 4/3, and our b is a positive 3. Because m is positive, that means it will be increasing. So that means the top number will tell us how it goes up. The bottom number tells us to move to the right. Bottom number always tells us to move to the right when we graph. So when we graph, we're going to begin at our y-intercept, which is 3. So I'll write it as a coordinate as 0, 3. That means the x value is 0, the y value is 3. We will, from that point, move up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and we have another point. Move up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, we have another point. I can do the opposite, down 4, and to the left 3 in order to complete the graph on the other side. I can go 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now we can connect our dots, and I see as I'm drawing my line through my dots, I am doing an increasing line. Okay, example 3. Let me go back to example 2 and get my steps. Even though I said I wasn't going to write them, I did. So let me rewrite. 4x minus 6y equals 12. We'll draw a line. Do y equals blank x plus blank. Our free fall is the number 12. It goes into the blank on the last. I forgot to box my y. Can't forget that. This time I put the negative 6 with it. Okay, we did our free fall of 12. We have to move the 4x. It's going to cross the line, so it changes its sign. It becomes a negative 4. And then we've taken care of the x. Last but not least is the negative 6 in the box. We divide by the number in the box. Let's reduce our fraction using our calculator. Negative 4 divided by negative 6. I end up with a decimal, so I'm at math, enter, enter. This becomes then y equals the negative 4 over negative 6 is a positive 2/3. I still have my x, and then we'll do a positive 12 divided by a negative 6, and we'll get a negative 2. So this becomes a minus 2. This is in the form y equals mx plus b. So our y value is 2/3, and our b is negative 2. We have to start at the b, so that is the coordinate negative 0, negative 2. And then our slope tells us it's positive, should be increasing, so the top number goes up, the bottom number goes to the right. So up 2 to the right 3, up 2 to the right 3, up 2 to the right 3, and that's as far as we can go. If you use your straight edge, your line will be a lot straighter than what mine is right now. Example 4. Notice this one is already in y equals mx plus b form, so we don't have to do any changing. Our slope then is negative 3. Our beginning point or y-intercept is 0, so that's the coordinate 0, 1. We're going to start at the coordinate 0, 1. The slope is negative 3. I want it to look like a fraction, so that's negative 3 over 1. That means that the top number, since it's negative, goes down. Bottom number always to the right. I should have a decreasing line. Let's draw it. Starting from our beginning point of 0, 1, we'll go down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 1. And down 3, to the right 1. Connect those dots. And we have completed our line. Another useful tool in going from standard form to slope-intercept form is when you're given a problem where you have to determine the solutions. The solutions mean that these points are on the line. So the points that are given, you're trying to find out, is this point, the point that's A, B, C, or D, are they on the line that is given by 2x minus 5y equals 1? So we want to use our calculator to help us out, and the way that we can do that is by changing this equation to y equals, because then we can graph it on the calculator. So we're going to change this to y equals blank x plus blank. Let's box our y. We have the 1, it's on the right side, it free falls. The 2, it's on the left side. If I cross the line, I change the sign so it becomes a negative. And then I divide by the number that's in the box, that's negative 5. So our equation now, if you put the negative 2 over negative 5 in the calculator, you get a positive 2/5. We still have our x, and then this becomes a negative 1/5, and so this just becomes a minus 1/5. We're going to use this and put that equation into the y equals into your calculator. When you put fractions in the calculator, remember to put parentheses around your fraction. So when we put it into the calculator, go to y equals, open parenthesis, 2 divided by 5, close the parenthesis, x, minus, open parenthesis, 1 divided by 5, close the parenthesis. And now, if I look at my graph, I should have one that is increasing. Yes, it is. Okay. But what I really want to do is to look at the table. And the way we look at the table is we hit the second button and then graph. Because when you hit the second button, you're saying, I want to use what is above the graph button. So second and then graph, we bring up our table. We're going to check if the numbers I have in my table match any of the numbers that are listed here. So the first one that comes up is -2, -1. And sure enough, we have -2, -1 as one of the possible answer choices. Now, notice this says which ordered pairs, so that means there may be more than one. So now we're going to check 2, 1, because I have that. I see when it's 2, y is 0.6, so this is not a, sorry, so C is not an answer. I want to look at 7, 3, so I'll scroll down. When x is 7, y is 2.6. So B cannot be an answer because this says when x is 7, y is 3. So now let's check the first one. When x is -7, y is -3. So A is a solution. We have two solutions listed there, A and D. It's important when you do this that you check all of them and not just the first ones. So we're going to do the same thing with problem 6. Start off with writing our equation, 3x plus 2y equals 11. And now we want to change it to y equals blank x plus blank. Box in our y. The 11 is a free fall. It comes down. I have a 3 with the x, but I'm going to cross the line, so I change the sign. It becomes a -3, and I divide by what's in the box. So now this equation is what I'm going to type in my calculator. -3/2, it's in parentheses, x plus 11 over 2 is in parentheses. If I was to put that in the calculator to check my fractions, I would see that the fractions are reduced to that. But I'm going to skip that step. So in parentheses, -3 divided by 2, close parenthesis, x plus, open parenthesis, 11 divided by 2, close the parenthesis. We want to look at the table, so we hit second and then graph. All right? We're looking at when x is -1, y is 4. My table says when x is -1, y is 7. So D is not an answer. I want to look when x is 1. Let's see, when x is 1, y is 4. So that means A is not, because it says when x is 1, y is 3. Then we have when x is 3, y should be 1. That is correct, so B is correct. And when x is 5, y should be -2, and that is correct according to my table. So we have used changing into slope-intercept form to help us graph, and now we've also used changing into slope-intercept form to help us find the solutions to the equations. You need to write your summary. So our question was, how do I go from standard form to slope-intercept form? Okay? Use your own words to describe how we went from standard form to slope-intercept form. So to go from standard form to slope-intercept form, what do we do? Okay? And then I can say this can be used to find solutions by putting the equation into y equals and looking at the table. This concludes topic 7-5.